Okay, so I'm right here at this bus stop. This bus is about to leave me because they know that I'm out here with my suitcase. They know who I am. They know that I don't have nowhere to go. They know I'm not getting on this bus. And I'm sitting down right here because I'm pregnant and they're trying to persecute me in this country. So they're leaving me outside. They were trying to set me up on the transit system. God told me, first of all, let me just be honest. God said the truth will set you free. In 2016, Austin John Metter was in the Montgomery County Jail charged for trying to rape me. And he had violated his probation. He was on probation for assault. He had assaulted me in our apartment that we had at 230 Avenue G in December 2015 and was charged with assault, family violence, released on assault for a public servant. They changed the charge while he was in the jail saying that he assaulted a public servant, but he was charged for assaulting me. So they put him on probation, released him February 2016 for assault on a public servant, and he tried to rape me between the months of February 2016 and March 2016. And he was charged after police heard a recording of him refusing to get off of me after he had been drinking and, refusing to get off of me, and I didn't want sex. So while he was in the jail, I was pregnant by him. I got pregnant by him in February 2016 with my first son. I had never been pregnant before, and I was pregnant by this white Caucasian male, Austin John Metter. So, Father God, help me, anoint me, Lord Jesus, in the name of Jesus. It's hard to tell this information at a bus stop. Austin John Metter was incarcerated because his probation officer found out that he was charged with rape on the assault family violence charge, and he gave him 100 days in the Montgomery County Jail as a probation violation. So they picked him up at the end of March. Around the time that I had to leave 230 Avenue G, they evicted me while I was pregnant with Melbourne and left me walking up the streets of Conroe, Texas, just like this. In Conroe, Texas, they evicted me because Austin was abusing me inside of that apartment, and it was not my fault. She evicted me because I pushed Austin back when he was trying to abuse me in front of the entire community, and they was refusing to call the police after he had already been charged with assault family violence after he had been released. And after he had already gotten the rape charge, they were still allowing him to assault me in front of everybody, and they were refusing to call the police. And I turned around and pushed him down because I was pregnant, and they called the police and tried to get the officer that arrested me with the gun in 2018, 2016. White officer C. Adams tried to arrest me pregnant with Melbourne and put me in the back of her squad car when they refused to call the police as Austin was stalking me on my way to my job at Taco Bell while I was pregnant, assaulting me down the street. So they refused to call the police. All the whites were sitting out watching, refusing to call the police. As soon as I turned around and pushed him down to defend myself pregnant, they hurried up and called the police, and white female officer C. Adams showed up. Short white female brunette officer showed up. It was like, get in the back of my car. Get in the back of my car with her hand on her gun. And I said no. I was like, no. And I would have fought her because he was abusing me, and you not about to put me in the back of your car. And I refused to get in the back of her car. And she said, back up. I need backup now. I need backup. And then she hurried up and called white male officers, and these white male officers were aware that he was abusing me because they had already been called several times throughout Conroe, Texas by civilians for him abusing me. They had been called by my neighbor, Chuck, a white man, when he got the assault family violence charge. They had been called by my manager, Maria, when he was charged for rape. And I asked the whites to call while he was out there abusing me in front of them, and they wouldn't do it. And then C. Adams was trying to get me to get in the car, and the white male officers were like, Andrea, tell us what's going on. And I told them, he's still abusing me, and this time I'm pregnant and I'm on my way to work, and I just want him to leave me alone so I can get to work because I had to pay the rent, and I was making enough money to pay my rent. My rent was only $600 a month, and my check was just enough for me to pay my rent. So the officers was like, okay, Andrea, they was like, go ahead and run along and hurry up and get to work because they knew he was abusing me. So I hurried up and went to work, and on my way to work, the police pulled up on me and they stopped me, and they was like, Andrea, are you really pregnant by him? Because we know he was charged with raping you. And I said, yes, I am really pregnant by him. And they was like, okay. And they was like, get to work. So I got to work, and the police met me at my job because Austin had came up to my job and tried to assault me at my job, outside my job, and the Hispanic Hispanic male that worked with me. I don't remember his name. God forgive me, but I don't remember his name. He worked at Taco Bell with me on North Fraser Street. He came out of establishment like, hold on, fam, that's a female, don't be hitting on her. And then Austin hurried, my baby daddy, my white baby daddy, ran up on him like, nigga, what's up? That's my baby mama, nigga, what's up? To fight him. And the Hispanic man got scared a little bit and backed up like, okay, fam, you got it. I'm not trying to fight you, but he was trying to stop him from abusing me. And the police came up to my job, and they was coming up at my job to see if I make it to work on time, and see if I was okay up at my job. And so back to me getting this vehicle. So Austin ended up going to jail because his probation officer found out that he was trying to rape me, and he got charged with a violation and did 100 days in the county. I was pregnant, and I ended up finding a new apartment after walking up and down the streets and being told that they wouldn't put me in an apartment because I had an eviction. I found an apartment through Keller Williams at 1308 Houston Street, apartment 3, and Joseph O'Vera, Austin's Hispanic father, paid $1,500 deposit of the first month rent and the last month rent for me to move into this apartment, but my name was on the lease. And because I had eviction on my record and I didn't have the credit, I was working at Taco Bell. Cynthia O'Vera co-signed for me, but Austin was incarcerated in the Montgomery County Jail for abusing me, but I was pregnant by him. Who has hurt my belly trying to talk so fast, but I don't have enough time to get this information out. So Austin was in the county, and I was working at Taco Bell. I moved into this apartment April 2016, and I was pregnant with Melbourne, and I was limping. I fell down at my job at Taco Bell, but Austin was abusing me too, and I had started having some light bleeding. I didn't even want to tell anybody. They all knew I was pregnant because Austin had told everybody I was pregnant. We took pregnancy tests and everything. I went to UTMB. Because I had to get in the ambulance while Austin was in the jail for the bleeding, and they found out my son's heartbeat was still there even though I was bleeding. And so I put myself on bed rest, and I contacted Taco Bell to let them know that I was pregnant and bleeding. And the white girls was harassing me, telling me that I was fired from my job from Taco Bell. And I went up to my job that was right up the block from my house limping, and I went in there and I confronted the white girl, and I said, what did you say to me, that I'm fired from my job for being pregnant and bleeding at home and got doctor's notices that I need to be on bed rest? And then I went up to the black manager. He came out there like, what is you doing up here, like arguing with this white girl? And I said, did you say I'm fired? He said, no. I said, well, the white women is texting me telling me that you said that I'm fired. But that's why I came up there, because they texted me talking about another black woman named Dominique that was working up there was pregnant. They said Dominique was working till she was 8 months and big, and they said, and you not showing up for 2 days. I didn't show up. They were like, and you not showing up, and I was working double shifts, covering their shifts when they didn't want to come to work and everything. And then they was taking money and stealing money off of my check for my overtime and everything, and then refusing to pay me $200 and something on my check and giving me $15 for overtime. And so I went up there and I was like, who said I'm fired? Who said I'm fired? And because I had already contacted the manager, and they said it was okay, that I had the doctor's notice that I'm pregnant and bleeding and I need to be on bed rest. And so he said, I didn't say you fired. I didn't say you fired. And then so the white girl, I had to meet with corporate because I went home. They called the police on me for coming up there. And I told the white girl, I said, if you keep on texting my phone, I'm going to come back up here, because you're not finna sit up here and talk about I'm fired because I'm pregnant and I'm bleeding at home. And then so I talked to corporate and told corporate that I was going to sue them for what they was doing, trying to persecute me on my job, and knowing that I had this white baby daddy throughout the community because it's a small town. And I basically just told them that I would sue them about my pregnancy, about me being pregnant with Melbourne, and about them trying to say that I was fired and letting these white women harass me while I was on bed rest from Taco Bell. And then I met with a man from corporate, and yes, I was pregnant with Melbourne, and he did not die, so that you can't fire me for being on bed rest with my child. I came back to work, and I was told not to try to work a full shift, and they had me trying to work a full shift. They did not want to give me breaks. They stopped the free meals that you get when they was letting us have a free meal every day, and they stopped once they found out I was pregnant and on bed rest. When I came back, they stopped the free meals and started making me have to pay for my meals, and then they was persecuting me. A white woman who worked at the place named Cynthia, and she was not Austin's mother. She was a manager named Cynthia who worked there too, and she ended up making me end up quitting the job for trying to make me stand up on my feet too long after the bleeding had stopped, and I didn't want to start back bleeding with Melbourne. So I quit the fucking job because I was in pain, and I went and laid down in my motherfucking house and said, if I gotta go to the shelter and leave this apartment because Cynthia don't understand that I'm pregnant and that this baby, I need to be lying down, that's fine. I said, I'll go to the shelter with him, but I'm not finna let them kill my baby. So I quit Taco Bell, and I started back working a month later once I got my strength back at a nursing home, and Cynthia came and brought me a car that Joseph O'Vera had got from his sister for me. It was a white Grand Am, and Austin, I had told Cynthia when Austin found out they had gave me this car, she said it was because I was pregnant. I was big and walking up and down the street carrying groceries and doing it on my own and walking to this nursing home. But the white lady at the nursing home, she didn't really want to give me the job, and I was covering up my baby bump wearing big clothes. Then when I tried to lift up this old white man and put him out of his wheelchair in the day room, I sprained my stomach and had to go to the hospital. And the white woman refused to give me lighter duty once I told her I was 5 months pregnant. And I said, can you ask somebody to help me lift them out their chairs? Because I can't be lifting them by myself, but everything else I can do. She said no and refused to allow somebody to help me, saying she was going to make me run a nursing home by myself. And I ended up having to quit that job. And Austin was saying that he would get out of jail when he got out after the 100 days. He was supposed to get out in July 2016, and I would be 6 months in my third trimester. He was saying that he would work because I had a high-risk pregnancy and that he would take care of me. He came in the house punching holes in the wall and beating me up for that car and everything. Cynthia and them told him to not do that. When Austin went to prison, he went to prison when my son was 5 or 6 weeks old. He beat me up throughout my entire third trimester and had me in the hospital several times on monitors to try to see if my baby was still alive at the Woodlands Hospital and at Conroe Regional Hospital where I gave birth to my son. At the Woodlands Hospital, he tried to attack me in the labor and delivery unit, and they said that he could not be present for the birth of my child because he had got violent with me while they was checking me while I was in the beginning stages of my labor. So I had to have an emergency delivery at Conroe Regional Hospital, and everybody knows all this information, and they trying to turn everything about Melbourne and everything about my pregnancies on me, like he was not the cause of me being in the hospital with Melbourne, because that's part of the information about him abusing me while I was pregnant with my first son, and then him abusing me now, and I'm pregnant again, and they over here lying about me being pregnant. So when he went to prison, I still had the car because after I gave birth to Melbourne, he was attacking me in the house. He was attacking my baby. He was attacking me in the house, and he was trying to attack Melbourne while Melbourne was a newborn. Melbourne, he tried to attack him at 3 weeks old, and I'll go into the details of the things that he was doing to my newborn and trying to do to my newborn, and the things that he was doing to my son when he was a toddler after he got out of prison. So while he was in prison, I stayed at that apartment at 1308 Houston Street, 2-bedroom that was in my name. Melbourne had a nursery. I had my own room, and I still had that vehicle. So I was working part-time. I was taking Melbourne to his doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, taking him to the WIC office, taking him to see family. We was just living normal life, and the vehicle was mine. I told Cynthia I didn't know if I wanted to be with Austin. And Austin tried to take the vehicle from me. He slapped me inside of an H-check cashier store before I gave birth to Melbourne, before he went to prison. And they called the police on him from inside of the H-check cashier store in Conroe, Texas. When the police came, my thumb was bleeding for trying to block his head. I was visibly pregnant, and the police did not arrest him. And he asked the police to take the car from me and let him drive around in the car and then make his baby mama that he just hit walk home. And the police actually said to me, well, he's saying that that's his car. So the police was over there looking at what I had acquired from these white people and not looking at how this man was abusing me. And they was over there like, oh, well, he's saying that's his car. That's not what the phone call was about. The phone call was about him slapping me pregnant up inside this goddamn store. What the fuck do that goddamn car got to do with any goddamn thing with this call? And I said, you know what? Let me call the person who named the car in and let them tell you if you gonna take this car from me and give it to him. And then so I called Cynthia and said, Cynthia, Austin just assaulted me up inside this H check cashier store, and they called the police on him, and they trying to give him this car, and I'm telling them that this is not his car, that this is my car, that y'all gave me this car and told me I could have this car for me and my baby. And then Cynthia said to the police, that is not his car. He is not to try to take that car from Andrea. And I got in the goddamn car and I drove off and left his ass up there with the goddamn police. So God was telling me that when I was in the jail that they was gonna plot on my car because Austin was beating me up. God was like, Austin was beating me up in my house and robbing me for my money and my car. And God was like, Cynthia, God told me to say, Cynthia and Joseph said that she could have that car. And I had asked Cynthia to put it in my name, and she kept procrastinating, saying she was gonna put it in my name if I got a job. And when I got a job to be able to pay the insurance, she was still procrastinating. So anyway, back to what God was saying about them plotting on my vehicle in the jail. He said that that the black Freemasons and all the blacks were jealous that the things that I had, and saying that they was gonna take my car, and that he would be driving around my vehicle and saying something about that they was plotting with the MARTA transportation people, and because I would have to be on the bus, and that all the MARTA workers would be well aware that they tortured me and that I'm pregnant, being let out of the jail after that 10 months of being tortured, and that they would be trying to tease me about having to ride MARTA, and that MARTA would be doing stuff to try to set me up. And when I was downtown just riding the trains, they were setting me up all on the trains. And then when I released information about Cynthia O'Vera being a Grand Illuminati witch on my other channel, they had police come and try to arrest me and fight me at downtown 5 Points, saying that I could not charge my phone on the platform while they was leaving me outside trying to murder me across the nation. They've been trying to have me outside with my phone not charged up while they all plotting on me. So I'm sitting right here at this bus stop, which is why I showed y'all the martyr man. And so they have black men who are black Freemasons and satanic black men coming up to me and seeing me with my bag, knowing the plot is to leave Andrea Jones outside of any shelters, leave her out of any of our houses, leave her out of any sorts of organizations that's supposed to help women of domestic violence, leave her out of any organization that's supposed to help pregnant women, leave her out of her family home, leave her out of her friend's home, leave her out of everybody's home, and leave her outside. And he's still sitting right here. It is the goddamn green lights. They trying to listen. Get the fuck on. He got his window down trying to listen because they setting me up. And the black women riding past watching too. And they little cars trying to sell me out, trying to set me up. So anyway, Father God, help me in the name of Jesus, because that's distracting me. And he just turned into this nearby parking lot. So the black Freemasons coming up to me knowing that they plotting to leave me outside. And they coming up. They the ones who been bringing me into the hotel. They the ones who been bringing me into these houses. They the ones who been bringing me everywhere since I left the jail. It's been these people. So back to me with this bag. They coming up to me talking about, oh, do you have somewhere I can take you to? Trying to pretend like they trying to be good citizens. First of all, you know that they setting me up to be killed outside. You know they setting me up all over the country. And you walking up to me asking me, do I have somewhere to go? They know that they're just looking for a reason to bother me. So a black Freemason named Mon just came up to me. Now, I'm sitting at the bus stop, and he comes all the way, he pulls up in this Family Dollar parking lot and get out of his car and walk all the way right here and say, is there any way I can take you to? I'm at the bus stop. The bus hadn't came yet. So don't you think the bus can take me where I'm going? I got a bus card that's good for the day. Now, I might be fucked up tomorrow, but I got a bus card that's good for the day, and that's why I'm at the bus stop. If I want to get on the bus, if I need somewhere to go, if I had somewhere to go, they know if I had somewhere to go that I would get on the bus to go. And they know they plotting on my money, and they plotting on my residence. They plotting on me not having nowhere safe to stay in this country, so all these blacks can set me up to be killed. So they know I don't have nowhere to go. And why would you get all the way out your car and come walk over here to a lady that's at the bus stop and ask, can you take me somewhere? He coming over here trying to be nosy, seeing what I'm doing, and I'm writing down this evidence like I said I was gonna do. And so I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit of the evidence. I'm listening to my video, and I'm like, I said to him, I said, no, but I can take some donations. I said, if you want to help, I said, I can use a donation. And he said, oh, I just wanted to see if there was somewhere I can take you. So these black men ain't trying to help me. They know that they plotting to leave me outside. They know I don't have nowhere to go with this goddamn suitcase being left outside with this goddamn baby. I mean, with this blessed baby. They know that. So I ain't know they trying to pretend to help. And you can't trust no place where they'll try to give you to rest. Because it's a setup. If they bring you somewhere and say, oh, I'm going to give you a place to stay, it's been a setup every single spot that they brought me in, trying to kill this baby. Am I all right? I'm at the bus stop with my suitcase. Where am I going? I'm being left outside because I'm pregnant and the United States is covering up my pregnancy. So I'm being left outside with my suitcase, and they all know I don't have nowhere to go. So if you can help with that. They know that I don't, and that's why I just went on here, because he knows what's going on. They keep pulling up on me talking about, do I need help? When do you pull up on a woman at a bus stop who got a bag at the bus stop and ask her, do she need help? No, you gonna let her get on the bus and go wherever she is going. They is pretending. They trying to target me. That's what that is, because I'm finna be putting out this information, and I don't want to go nowhere where they claiming they gonna help me, because they gonna have somebody up in my motherfucking face trying to stop me from putting out the information, or they gonna have people fucking with me like they did all in that motel while I was there in that motel, and I had to spend time filming their bullshit instead of working on my case. And then they had me in the room where the man bought me a room but didn't give me no money for no motherfucking food, and then they're trying to fuck me. How you trying to help me if you bringing me somewhere trying to make me have sex with you and I need this baby out my coochie? That goes back to them wanting to rape me while I'm pregnant with this child. So he's talking about he gonna help. He's still sitting over there. What is he still sitting over there for? I really don't want to. I'm free as a bird. And now I see why my mama gave me that safari room when I was a little girl, because she already knew what it really is with you having to be outside in America. Once you figure out what's really going on, they gonna leave your black ass outside. And she know where we really came from, the habitat that we really came from. You know, we didn't come from this colonialized environment. We came from a natural environment, so they know that I can survive out here. They know I can survive out here. But they was tricking me into coming into these places with them. And they not finna trick me no more, because I realize I can expose more information if I'm not up around none of these people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something else. See, she walking all out, black lady sitting there walking all out. So she walking away from me. There's a black lady standing over here by me, and then she walking away from me like I'm disturbing her while I'm telling about people threatening to burn me in front of this nation and hurting me and my child. And another black lady had came and said right there doing that shit because they covering women. They ain't been this long in this country being abused and all that shit, and then it's quick to lift your hand to abuse another black woman and act like you don't hear her fucking calls. And all the black women that done tried to fight for us, they killing. Sandra Bland, she might have been in the sorority, but she flipped the script on that motherfucking ass and was on her way to Prairie View to give a sermon, to give a speech about black rights, and to give a speech about the poor. And they killed her on her way. They killed her on her way. They killed Marianne Francis or Frankel. They killed her too. She was going out there to speak to the Afro-Latina girls in South America, and they killed her. They know what time it is. And he's still sitting over there in his motherfucking car, just sitting there, probably trying to plot to see, oh, she on the video saying what happened, because they know what the fuck going on. They not gonna keep plotting, bruh. That's all they doing is just plotting on somebody. And it'll be best for me not to even talk to them, because God said don't consort with witches. And that's what these black men is out here doing, and these black women. They out here doing fucking witchcraft with these people. And matter of fact, don't nobody even come stand at this bus stop, fam. The only reason why they even coming over here acting like they even coming to stand and catch the bus right here is because Andrea Jones is sitting right here and they want to try to make it seem like I'm disturbing motherfuckers that need to catch the motherfucking bus. I'm telling you, I be walking up and down the street. They do not come right here to get on the motherfucking bus, man. They don't do that shit. No, not like that. Not back to back. They don't. And if I was not right here working on this evidence, they wouldn't even be fucking with me, man. Over here is the black man that pulled up. He over here sitting in the car right there. He just sitting back there in the car. He ain't came over to help me. No, none of that shit. I don't want to go in their houses. But see, the plot is they gonna have me looking dirty outside. Then trying to say she mental, she not hygienic. And I carry myself damn near cleaner than all these nasty coven witches. But anyway, so I'm a queen. So let me go back to my cell phone. They plotting on me where the charging stations. They done stripped charging stations. They done took the backs off of the bus stops, so I can't have nowhere to prop up at the bus stop. They done did this. They done removed seats from bus stop communities. They done removed, all in Texas, they done removed the seats all over the city so that I wouldn't have nowhere to sit. They shut down the restaurants and put the chairs up and said nobody could come and sit in the restaurant because they knew they would leave me outside homeless trying to kill me, and I'd go in the restaurant, buy me something to eat and sit down and work on my case. So they shut down our ability to come in and sit down in the restaurants. And yes, there is a plague coming upon these people, but they lying about the magnitude of COVID-19 so they can walk around in masks while having people following me around trying to help murder me with masks on. And they done had celebrities from Hollywood coming out here with masks on and coming out to Texas with masks on trying to help murder me for these whites. And they think they slick, keep trying to talk about, oh, COVID-19. COVID-19 ain't none of they ass sick, ain't none of they ass dead, only they victims and people and old people, you know, people that can't talk. Nurses even talking about how they doing them folks in the hospital. And they wicked asses is still walking around healthy as fuck with masks on, trying to plot and kill a pregnant black woman. The COVID-19 pandemic is not as severe as they trying to make it seem. They want to be able to walk around with masks on, and they don't want people to expose what they be doing up in these stores, because that's the main plot where they following me and plotting on my food and shit up in these damn stores. I had a black man follow me in the store, and they just trying to see me pull out my money, trying to see how much money I have, trying to see what I'm buying, you know, because they done try to starve me. Ooh, Jesus. So back to these 911 calls, and he's sitting over there with the window down, just watching me, demonic ass black man. And I'm good, I don't need no help. And he's still just sitting right there. I don't want his help. All right, so Conroe Police. Austin was charged. This is what I'm writing so far, but I'm going to reorganize it. Theft and drug possession. Before I met him, I didn't know he had these charges. October 2015, around that time, I met Austin John Metter. November 2015, there was a 911 call from a civilian at the Motel 6 in Conroe, Texas. Austin John Metter attacked me. In November 2015, a 911 call was made by Cynthia O'Vera from her house. Austin John Metter tried to attack her with a butcher knife. November 2015, a 911 call was made by Joseph O'Vera's sister at his mother's house. At Joseph O'Vera's mother's house, Austin John Metter was assaulting me outside, and his sister called 911 and reported Austin John Metter assaulting me, and the Magnolia Police Department arrived the same day that Austin John Metter attacked Cynthia O'Vera with a butcher knife and was given a 2-year restrictive order from coming on Cynthia O'Vera's property, giving Cynthia O'Vera a 2-year protective order. A 911 call was made November 2015 by a female civilian at Econo Lodge in Conroe, Texas. Austin John Metter was attacking me inside of the motel room, and she saw him attacking me on top of me butt naked in the motel room through the window, and she called 911. The police showed up. Austin John Metter begged me not to press charges because he said he had previous charges and that he would have to go to prison for a long time. I didn't know what he was talking about, and I didn't press charges on him. Another 911 call was made by a civilian on Fraser Street in Conroe, Texas. Austin John Metter assaulted me. Another 911 call was made on North Fraser Street. A civilian reported Austin John Meta assaulted me, and the Conroe Police Department showed up 2 times in Conroe, Texas, to those phone calls. And I did not report Austin John Meta. I did not tell them the truth, but the police was called by the civilian. No, fuck you. Black woman gonna just ride past me and talk about some fuck me with her coven ass. That's why you going to hell, bitch. You can leave me at the bus stop pregnant, bitch, because the Most High not gonna punish me. You can do whatever you want to do on me to this earth, but Most High ain't gonna punish me. He gonna punish your black ass. But anyway, a 911 call because they sitting over here doing this to me, and I'm putting out the evidence, and they talking about fuck me for some white folks. No, fuck y'all. Worshiping these white folks like that. No, fuck y'all. A 911 call was made at 230 Avenue G at Pecan Grove Apartments. This is where me and Austin Metter got an apartment together. It was a 1-bedroom little studio apartment at 230 Avenue G in Conroe, Texas. It was called Pecan Grove Apartments. Me and Austin name was on the lease there, and Cynthia O'Vera co-signed for the property because me and Austin I had just got a job at this Chinese place around the time we moved in, so we didn't have the income built up yet. So she co-signed for us, but me and Austin was the main leaseholders. A 911 call was made by a white neighbor named Mr. Chuck. I was in there screaming and also was punching me in my head repeatedly, and he called 911. And the Montgomery County Police Department showed up. Conroe, Texas, Conroe Police Department showed up, and Austin John Meta was charged December 20th, 2015 for assault family violence. He spent 42 days in the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas for assault family violence. They changed the charge inside of the jail, claiming that he assaulted a public servant because I didn't want to press charges. Because he was telling me he loved me, he was sorry, and Cynthia was mad, and I didn't want to press the charges because we had an apartment together, and he was saying he wouldn't do it no more. And I was like, okay, we're going to both pay these bills, we're going to all pay this rent, and we're going to make it work. He said he's sorry, and I didn't press the charge because I loved him. And they changed the charge and said he assaulted a public servant inside of the Montgomery County Jail. And they released him after 42 days, February 4th, 2016, from the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas. That night when he was released, he got me pregnant. I conceived exactly up to my son's birthday. I conceived the night that he was released out of prison. He had sex with me several times, even while I was asleep. I told him that I was tired, and he told me just to go to sleep and let him keep having sex with me. And I fell asleep while he continued to have sex with me, and he got me pregnant that night. He was charged between February and March 2016 for Class C rape. So I'm going into this evidence, and I'm continuing to go into the rest of his charges. He was convicted for assault, and he abused me throughout my pregnancy with my son in my new apartment because they evicted me from 230 Avenue G because Austin was abusing me there. And they made me walk up and down the streets in Conroe, Texas, refusing to allow me into any of the apartments until I went through Keller Williams to get into a 2-bedroom unit that they had renovated out of an old building, an old apartment building. It was just one apartment building with 4 units. And me and my son, I was pregnant there, and I stayed there while Austin was in prison. He went to prison December 2020 of 2016. So each year he kept attacking me around that same time. He went to prison, and when he got out, I had raised my son in this apartment, and he continued to attack me. He tore down the walls inside of this apartment. He was beating on me and my son. Right after he was released from prison, we was calling the police. He was fleeing to Cynthia's house. He was hiding at Cynthia's house. They was making me have to be in the house with this man. They rigged my car. The car was breaking down. I could not get away in my vehicle because they did something to the vehicle where the vehicle was rigged where I couldn't even leave Conroe. I called the Justice of Peace trying to get him out of the house. And then I ended up having to be ran from my house with a gun in my purse. And I shot him in the restaurant where I went to for help with my little boy because he came in the restaurant attacking us, and the male employee was trying to help us, and he couldn't restrain Austin while he was being violent with my son in the restaurant. And then they took me into jail and tried to murder me and did all these rituals with the rest of the Americans, saying they was going to burn me in front of the nation for shooting a white man and saying they was going to kill me and the baby that I'm pregnant with. And then they kept poisoning poisoning me, and poisoning my trays, poisoning my drinks, and spraying my cell with chemicals while I was in labor, lying about it. And let me just cool off for a minute, because the Illuminati is swarming around me right now in their little cars, and I just need to calm down because I'm getting pissed. And I'm going to finish working on my evidence, because I know I got to present it another way so I can reach out to Africa so that they can understand, because they're trying to have me loading videos of them harassing me and get my channel taken down. So I got to put this evidence together as quickly as possible, the best way that I can, to get this out to the righteous and see if there are any more righteous people on this earth. God showed me thousands of them coming to America to help me. So I'm going to trust in my God and let them keep swarming around me, refusing to help me. But I wanted y'all to see that I'm right here. I'm not bothering anybody. I'm sitting down. I'm actually going to move from this spot in a little bit because they targeting me right here. And I just want to show y'all what they are doing to me and my children in this country. And when they took me into jail, that's when they did the voodoo, and Cynthia and Joseph and the Conroe Police Department, they have all this information that he was abusing me, and they lied about me being pregnant by him again. They threatened to rape my little boy as retaliation for me shooting him in the leg in self-defense. And they threatened to mutilate my son and cut him up and give him herpes and AIDS. And Cynthia said she was a Satanist, so also the Satan, that she was going to hell, and that she was a child molester, her and Joseph. And then God said that's why they were chasing me around for my little boy while Austin was in prison, because they were chasing me around. God was showing visions of them chasing me around my neighborhood at all hours of the morning, all hours of the night, all over the place. Every time I leave my house, they were chasing me, the police trying to get my son. And then it was because they were child molesters